Okay, I'm in a weird mood. I'm just going to warn you all right now. I'm in a weird mood. So, my wife is out of state, had to go visit her mother. So, I'm sitting here kind of by myself with my daughter at the other end of the house. And I'm going, ooh, what shall I do? And even the dogs can sense it. You can hear them going crazy. So, hey, let's just do something like totally weird, you know? Like, I don't know. Let's find out. And sorry about blowing out your ears there. Ooh, that was, I saw that and it went red spikes and was like, whoops. And of course, right as I start, my dogs were just out a few minutes ago and now they're going to go goofy. Come here, Ginger. Give me, yeah, she's going to run away. Like, yeah. Okay, will you come here, Keely? Okay, this is what all the noise in the background is this one and the other one. So, yeah, sorry, Amber. I know it was loud. I got it fixed. So, did I just get a fresh cut? Yes, my wife took the clippers to me and buzzed. So, but I have pin mail, which I'll get to share with you a little bit. I've got a little bit of other mail coming up, so I'll be able to share a few things with you that way. We got questions and answers, and who knows what else we're going to do. Basically, I was just like, I've been kind of doing consistently 3 videos a week, and I haven't done an extra video this week. So, Matt, I don't know. I think Sandy's probably in my daughter's room. So, nope, she's not anywhere close, and I'm not going to leave my camera sitting here for 5 minutes while I try to get a cat around who doesn't want to do anything. So, but one of the things that I do occasionally, because I do collect my pins, is I occasionally do an online trade or two. I get a little bit... Sandy is my cat, Alexis. I tend to get hesitant about doing a lot of pin trading online with people I don't know, because unfortunately I've been stiffed a couple times and burned on eBay and stuff. I don't even use eBay anymore. But I went ahead and I did a couple trades with the pin trading group, and if you remember, I used to have a large Lilo and Stitch one. I've actually posted. Well, I found somebody who wanted it, and they sent me a wonderful trade and blessed me. So this is actually from Therese Lim in Reno, Nevada, which I actually used to live not too far from Reno. But she sent me a couple wonderful pins here. One, of course, if you know me, you know I like Donald. So there's the Donald duck that she sent. And then this is a really nice pin from Disneyland Paris. Right there. See if we can get the camera to get it in focus. There we go. So pin trading night from Disney Paris. That's a little bit better, which I just love that pin. And then a couple from Shanghai Disney on top of that. It just really nice. These are big, thick pins and everything. I'm like, gee, I feel like I got the better end of that deal. And then she actually threw in a Times Guide from Hong Kong, Paris. Or from Hong Kong, Paris. Disney Hong Kong. Did you know Hong Kong's in Paris? But just a really cool package. I'm like, I love all the international stuff. So that's cool. And by the way, if you didn't know, Fairy Haven is my daughter. So yeah, she's actually on for a few minutes. So we'll see how long she lasts here before she gets totally bored. So, Hogwarts Slytherin House of 97. I'm so sorry. Wrong house. Aaron would like you, but, well, Aaron's Aaron. So, the rest of us, we'll just put up with you. So, I don't know if she's fluffy enough to be a coon or not, Amber. But so, yeah, Amber's been doing a lot of writing, getting other stuff done. I've been getting some stuff done around the house, some extra video production work done, a few things at church, so that's actually been working real well. The Dr. Pooh shirt is actually from Barry, one of my viewers. In fact, the one package I showed you is actually from Barry as well. Yeah, Hong Kong, Paris, I know. Terrible, because I know so much better than that. But yeah, just really pleased, and then... we, of course, got our stimulus check, and so I did make my one splurge here. Took care of a few other things, but my one other splurge was buying pins from Pinderella. If you don't know about Pinderella on Facebook, she tends to be my go-to for buying Disney pins, and so, yeah, I splurged a little Not that bad, really. But bought a few pins from there, so I'll show those in a minute. Tyler, what Fair parks have I been to? Cedar Point, of course. I actually got to go there last year? No, almost 2 years, year and a half ago. Worlds of Fun in Kansas City, which that one I did make it to last year. And then Knott's Berry Farm and California's Great America are the other two. I actually grew up going to the Great America in California. But it has been years since I have been to those. Longer than Disneyland. So it's been so long, I hesitate to say a whole lot about them because it's just been many, many years. So, but I think those are the only ones. Oh, no, wait, no, I'm sorry. I have been to Dorney Park. Dorney Park was in 2001. And then I was at Kings Island, but at the time it was Paramount. It was not Cedar Fair. So it doesn't really count in that regard. I have not been to Michigan Adventure. I have not been to Valley Fair. I'm trying to think the others that they run. I was at Gilroy Gardens back when it was Bonfani Gardens, long before Cedar Fair came in. So something like that. Let's see. To be certain, there's a Disney World in Orlando, Anaheim, Paris, Tokyo, Shanghai, and Hong Kong. Yes. Yep, that's all of them. So, let's see. Let's see. Is Amber's favorite roller coaster still X? I don't know if it's ever been her favorite. I mean, she loved it at the time, but yeah, I don't know if it would be her favorite. So, but let me show you my pins here from Pinderella. If you want a good place to buy pins, look for Pinderella Shop LLC on Facebook. Great group, and I realized after I ordered that I actually ordered one that I already had. So I have another trader, but it's a really cool little pin. And then we got a couple for this year, which actually are almost ironic now. These are both for Disneyland. So you got a Stitch and the Mickey. And then I like attraction pins. This is another one I collect. So there is Splash Mountain. Let's see. There we go. I conquered Splash Mountain. I love all the chrome on that one. The Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party at Walt Disney World, which I didn't get to go to last year, but I love the pin. So we've got that one. And then I have a Simba. Simba is special because when I went to my traditions class at Disney, they do trivia questions and you can win little figures. And my figure I got was a Simba. So Simba's kind of been my first official Disney character. And I gave that little figure to one of my kids, and I have no clue whatever happened to it. It's gone. And then I've got a Walt Disney one, and then I got 3 more coming up after this one. And then the other 3 were ones, let's see, this was a limited release Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which is a really nice pin. Let's see if I can catch the focus. There it is. Almost. So, great pin. And then the funny part with these two, these are both pass holder pins. So the only way you could buy these there was if you were a pass holder. This one I hadn't seen, but this one was actually on sale when we were at Disneyland. And I was trying to convince them to let me buy it with my Walt Disney World pass, and they wouldn't let me do it. So I actually got it on Pinderella for less than the price in the park, because it was $16, and I didn't pay that much. So I think it's kind of funny. But yes, love the Star Wars pins, especially with Galaxy's Edge. I've been trying to collect those. Oh, I didn't show you the cool part on this one. This one, it actually has the part that flips up and down. And so if you turn the Falcon, you can actually flip that up. See if I can do this backwards. There we go. And then it'll actually hold it that way. So very cool. Do you know if doing ASL with only 4 fingers is harder than normal? I have a hard time doing it with 5 fingers. So, as an estimate, how many parks have I visited? The last count was well over 70. Okay, let me see if I can pull up a deal here. There's a website called Coaster Counter that I have used to put a lot of my count up online. Let me just see if it will tell me how many parks offhand. But it has 66 parks on Coaster Counter. So those are parks that actually have roller coasters in them. And then if we start adding in all the zoos and the kiddie parks and other things that don't have roller coasters, we're probably floating somewhere around 100, between 80 to 100, somewhere in there. So couldn't tell you exactly how many, but that'll give you a good idea. So hope one day to run into me and my family at Silver Dollar City. Yeah, we're around. This year is going to be interesting. Because we don't know, of course, when they're going to get reopened. We don't know what kind of precautions and stuff they're going to have in place. Same thing, see that Adventures of Animals is open to go to Disney in October, which they should be doing good there. But it's a lot of it's still kind of a wait and see as to when they can get open, what restrictions they'll have, what crowd limits and stuff like that. So I'm hoping to get to Silver Dollar City, but at the same time, I've got to make sure that it's safe for me to go. In fact, I was having a discussion online with a couple people that if they open it, when they open it, I'm just going to have to be real careful with the crowds and make sure that I go on days that there really aren't any crowds, simply because I don't trust people to be smart around here, which is sad, isn't it? And then we will try to work around and get the footage that way. So the kittens are doing good. They are just over 3 weeks old. They're in the garage, so you can see my window there. They're that way. And the light's on, and they were playing earlier today, so they're growing. They're just starting to eat solid food. A couple of them are nibbling at what I put out there, so they're cute. I gotta get some better pictures for them. So let's see. Coaster Cloud going to 2 parks in June and July. Will I be in the slightest chance of going? I don't know. I really don't know. Even if you were to tell me which parks, it's going to very much be up to the local jurisdictions and the park companies. It's very hard to say what is going to be open and when it will be open and how. And the parks themselves, I don't think know at this point. Which actually gives me an opportunity to kind of mention something here. Is if you look at a park and they say, and they have a date on their website, all they are saying at this point is they are closed until that date. That's not an opening date. And I don't think very many parks have any clue when they're going to be opening. Hershey Park had a post that they were starting to try to get some preparations in place to open. Disney World, of course, Florida, they're actually in the process of trying to get some guidelines in place and how they're going to do it, but it's still kind of early in the process. So it's something that it's still going to take some time to work out and then see. And then that is assuming that everything goes without any sort of relapse or second wave or even a third wave, depending upon timeline. And stuff like that, and it's just way too early to say. At this point this year, I'm not making any plans to travel. I'll go to Silver Dollar City, but I'm not expecting to go to any other parks just because of everything that's happened. But that's me. I'm a homebody anyways. I know that sounds weird from a guy that travels around, but I still hope to go to Japan next year. That is still my fingers crossed, trying to make everything work. We'll see how it works. So, what is my favorite ride at SDC? Well, I would have, if you given me 4 or 5 years ago, I would have said the train. Duh. Generally, my answer to that is whatever ride I'm on. So, hey, by the way, Adventure Animals, let's see, you gave us 10 minutes before we got our first favorite. It's a joke about the favorite questions. You'll figure it out. What other than Tokyo Disney, though, Robert Rothenberg is asking, what's my next trip Disney? I don't know. I have no plans at this point on going. Keep in mind, for me to take a trip to Disney World is going to run me by myself anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000. For me to go to Disneyland, it's actually going to go up a little bit more. And that's not money that we have. We have been very, very, very blessed to have a few other people chip in and cover our costs for other trips, or we've had business that covered part of the costs and other things to manage to keep it down. But our budget generally does not allow that kind of travel. We've just had miraculous stuff. And in all honesty, I am actually still paying for some of those trips. Because I did put some of it on credit card because it's the only way it was going to happen. Because at this point, I have no plans to go to Disneyland or Disney World. Tokyo is a hope next year, and that would include Disney there, but that's the only thing that's kind of in the works. That doesn't mean something won't happen. I had no plans to go to Disneyland Paris, and it happened through various things. My initial return to Disney World was through the help of financing through this, but our second and third trips, those weren't planned, and we were extremely blessed. The trip to Disneyland wasn't planned on our end, but we were blessed again. So I never say never. I don't know. Don't have any plans at the moment, but who knows? So if you get the chance to watch Prop Culture and Disney Plus, I have actually watched it a little bit. I've been so busy with other stuff. It's on my watch list, waiting for me to watch it. It looks really, really cool. Have I done a video about essential items you should bring to prepare? I have done a few tips and tricks, things to remember, things I'll talk about, walking shoes and water bottles and some stuff like that. Generally, outside of my camera gear, which is a ton, I generally travel pretty light. I'll take a drinking cup or bottle, and that's mostly what I take, and then my money. So I tend to do stuff like that. What is this? Oh, Amber. Do videos on my cats and dogs. Yeah. Oh. The one problem with doing videos with the cats and dogs and stuff like that is I tried to keep my videos focused on theme parks, whether me working at it, other people working at it, or visits, and the cats and dogs aren't related to that. And what happens is if you start getting these other off-the-wall branch things, is it actually hits your YouTube logarithms, and it kind of starts kicking out saying, he's not doing related stuff, and it'll stop kicking it out to people to watch them. So that's one of the reasons I don't do that. So if, like I said, if they come up while I'm doing a video, yeah, I'll pop them in. Sealy. Sealy, the dog you saw earlier, sitting over there like, you goober dog. Think my sound and video are out of sync. Justin, what it could very well be then is you've got slow internet traffic, which does happen sometimes. Well, I'm kind of looking. Yeah, it does look like OBS is being a little weird on me. Unfortunately, it's not anything I can do anything about. Although my CPU's barely moving too, so I don't know what to tell you on that. It's not anything I can do. I'm sorry. Hi, Tom. Good to see you. Big Sausage, I'm so sorry to hear that about your dog. It sucks when you lose a loved one, regardless of how many legs they've got. The Celebration City poster above me. Every time you stream from here... Okay, there are a couple videos that you need to look for, which is where this comes from. So let me see if I can pull one of them up here. I actually had a gentleman who worked at Celebration City come do a... we did a couple videos where we talked about his time working at the parks and stuff, and he brought me that and a few other things. Let's see here. So let me give you a link here. It's Robert Morris, who actually does comedy and magic and other stuff around the area as well. And that's where you can see where the poster comes from. So there's your link in the chat for you, so that way you can check it out. Do I prefer Halloween party or Christmas party? Ooh, you know, honestly, that's tough. I love Christmas. If it was any other park, I'd take Christmas. I'm not generally big into the whole Halloween stuff. But Disney does Halloween in such a kid and family-friendly way that I love it. My favorite parade is the Boo-to-You parade. I absolutely love that parade. There's some others that are great too, but... and then just all the different stuff, the villains, it's just so much fun. So I would probably lean towards the not-so-scary Halloween. It doesn't edge it by much. Part of the reason, too, is the Mickey's A Very Merry Christmas parade. You can actually catch the whole Christmas week. They do it during the daytime for everybody, so it's not a party exclusive. What happens at the Halloween party is just for the party, so... let's see. Just scrolling through my video uploads, it's mind-boggling and inspiring to see how much you enjoy it. So let me give the story, I guess, about why I got into theme parks and how, and stuff like that. I was a stay-at-home dad when my kids were born. It happened to work out in such a way that my wife got the full-time job as she was getting ready to have the kids, and actually right after she had the kids. She got the full-time job, I didn't, and so we actually had moved for her to take this job, and I decided, well, I'm going to end up paying more for childcare than if I stay home. more than I would earn. So I just stayed home with the kids, and so for the first 5 years before they started school, I was mommy essentially, while my mom was, or while my wife was dad. And so the theme parks, I had always liked them, but it was okay. If I'm going to be at home, I've got to have a hobby and an interest that's going to get me out of the house and get a break. And so that's really where the big interest started. At the time, dial-up internet, so this tells you way back when. But I got started using the online discussion boards, the BBSs, and Usenet to get a hold of people and start talking, and got involved with a group called Rec Roller Coaster, and that just kind of picked it up from there. So if you talk to a bunch of the old roller coaster guys, they'll talk about Rec Roller Coaster, and some of the old jokes like tear it down, not tear it down, tire it down, TAER, and stuff like that. So that's kind of where it began, and it has just grown from there. And then working at Disney World was always a dream of mine, always. So that was amazing to actually have a dream like that come true. So, let's see. Mr. O, Joseph is on too. So both of my kids are there. Yay! I don't know if to be happy for you or sad. So, let's see here. Yeah, internet's been spotty. Our internet's been up and down too. So, hope you haven't missed too much. No, Michelle, you haven't missed very much. Shared the pins I got in the mail and stuff. I do have a little bit other mail. So, okay. Let's see. But yeah, I got a little more other mail. But otherwise, it's just been pins and sharing a couple stories and answering a couple things. Did I ever get a chance to watch Defunctland? Actually, I watched Defunctland today. It was really kind of funny. They had a video about the Green Lantern roller coaster at Six Flags being bad, and actually commented on that and watched it. Yes, I am subscribed to Defunctland. They're a great channel. They're a little bit different. As you said, they focus on rides of the past and stuff like that versus me, which is more, this is my experience working there. So it's definitely a different kind of take. But no, he's got stuff like that. Yes, very much like his stuff. Let's see here. Gotta hate YouTube to have notifications on. I didn't even notify you. Well, hey, you found out one way or the other, Hulk Shooter. Yeah, I don't know what's up with YouTube on that. Let's see. Prefer the old narrator on the Tomorrowland TTA or the newer one? I only know the newer one because I didn't get to go to Disney World until 2006. So that's the only one I've heard. So, yeah, anything before that, I never saw or experienced. So, no idea. How many fireworks shows did you get to see when you were working? A lot. Oh, my goodness, a lot. Like I said, 5 years. I figured out at one point that I had seen illuminations at Epcot somewhere around 75. No, sorry. Well over 100 times. Well over 100. Just because of shooting pictures around World Showcase. And then as the show started, grabbing my camera gear and walking around the World Showcase while Illuminations is going. So, saw that a ton. And then Wishes. If you hit a few notes of the Wishes soundtrack, I can start singing it. Still. I love it, though. Absolutely loved it. When am I planning to come to Hershey Park? Well, I don't know, Robert. When is somebody going to pay for me to go? And I say it joking, but I'm also serious. Short answer to any when am I comings, my budget doesn't generally allow for travel unless extraordinary circumstances happen. So there, and especially under the odd, not so good circumstances now, I have no plans to go anywhere this year. And next year it's only Tokyo. I don't have plans to travel. Sealy! My dog's over here scratching like mad, and I'm about to throw things at her. So, we live on a tiny church pastor in a tiny town that doesn't get paid. That's my salary. I get free rent on a little dinky house. That's my pay. And then my wife is a public school teacher in rural Missouri. That's what we live off of. So there's not extra for travel. So there's a ton of places. I've actually, the video I have possibly up next for Park Tales is a list of parks I want to go to. Not that I can afford to go to any of them. There are no plans to go to any of them, but I would really like to go. So that's kind of how it is. So anytime somebody says, when are your plans to, or are you planning? Nope. No plans at this point. So, so, um, let's see here. So yeah, you can just fill like, when am I planning to come to, fill in the blank. It's going to be the same answer. So I really would love to go to Hershey. Hershey's up near the top of that list of places I want to go to, but we'll see. I hope. Green Lantern First Flight. Yes, that was the video I saw today. Did I get to ride Blue Streak at Cedar Point? I love Blue Streak at Cedar Point. In fact, my first real visit to Cedar Point, which was the second visit when it wasn't closed, Blue Streak was actually my favorite coaster. I actually liked Blue Streak better than Millennium Force and Magnum. So take that. I love Blue Streak. It was a little bit rough last time I was there. But yeah, Blue Streak's a classic coaster. So, Robert, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's see. Did I ever have a repeat offender who you just knew would cause trouble? I don't know. You asking? Are you trying to ask here something, Thomas? Okay. Let's see. Do I know Disney World's fireworks budget? I have no clue. Not a clue. A lot of money. I know that. So, did you hear about 2 people suing over injuries on Peoplemover? I can't totally laugh at Suzanne because she was a PhotoPass photographer. She knows how dumb people are. I have not heard about that particular lawsuit, but I imagine it's probably going to go the way of most lawsuits, since the Peoplemover moves at a grand speed of, 7 miles an hour? If that, you can run faster than the Peoplemover moves. And I imagine what they're probably saying is that they got injured when 2 of the cars went bump at 7 miles an hour. They're probably not going to get anything. They're thinking, oh, look, free payday from Disney. And they'll probably end up like most suits and get tossed out. So, yeah. What age did I start having to wear glasses? They're reading glasses. And it was almost exactly age 43. It literally went from 1 month where I had fantastic sight, never had any problem or anything, to, man, I'm having a hard time seeing that. So, about 43. And that's typical. Early 40s, somewhere between 40 and 45, is most people who don't have glasses suddenly need them. Before that, I could read in the dark. And now, if I can sit here, I can see my chat thing, but the font is just small enough I'm having to squint. So that's why I got the glasses, so I can actually see the fonts. Terrible. Getting older. Did I get tired seeing fireworks? No, not at all. In fact, one of my favorite memories of fireworks was working New Year's Eve. I worked New Year's Eve at Magic Kingdom, Epcot, and Hollywood Studios. Did all 3 of them at different times. And hated missing being with my family, but it was neat experiences. Epcot stunk. Epcot was just insanely busy and no fun at all. Hollywood Studios was really fun, simply because about an hour and a half before the fireworks, the main streets, Hollywood Boulevard and Sunset, were just so packed that they pulled the photographers off and said, forget it. Too dangerous, you can't shoot anyways, nobody's going to get your picture, so come on inside. And so we basically all stood around the view, and nobody was coming into the view where we sold the pictures because nobody wanted to lose their spot. So come time for the fireworks, we just kind of stepped out onto the street. There was this pocket around the store, and we watched fireworks while getting paid. And then at Magic Kingdom, I was actually working at Toontown during that one. And again, about an hour or so before the fireworks, the number of people coming to see the characters just dropped. And then we went 15 minutes before the fireworks. Nobody. Absolutely nobody. So once it came time for the fireworks, technically I think we were supposed to be inside, but we all stepped to the back of Toontown and kind of stood under the edge there. So I watched the fireworks with the characters from Toontown on New Year's. That was really, really cool. So I love fireworks. Let's see. Really hope I get to see Tokyo Disney and Disney Sea next year. So do I. Let me try to go back. I know I missed some other things. Best Disneyland ride not at Disney World. Indiana Jones is absolutely amazing. I can tell you all sorts of Disneyland rides that are not at Disney World. Ratatouille, which it will be at Disney World pretty soon. Ratatouille was amazing. I like Paris's Space Mountain and Big Thunder Mountain better than either of the ones in the States. Those were fantastic rides. Indiana Jones, I mentioned. The Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland, California is easily the best version. I haven't been on Shanghai's. That doesn't count. So, let me see here. Trying to come up let's see. I've seen before. Love the Dr. Pooh shirt. Again, thank Barry. In fact, I got a couple cards here from Barry, and I got a package, which I'm going to go ahead and open here in just a bit. The package I figure I was debating, but the package says Happy Star Wars Day, which is in 2 days. So I'm like, yeah, I guess I probably ought to open that up before we get to Star Wars Day. Did I have access to the Disney Underground? I assume that you mean the utilidors at Magic Kingdom. Every employee who works at the Magic Kingdom has access to those because you need them to get into the park. I gotta find my mail opener. When you go to work at Magic Kingdom, you actually ride a bus from a parking lot, and it drops you off at the back of the park at this opening to the big, huge tunnel that goes under the park. That's where the employee cafeterias are, the costuming, most of your merchandise storage is in there, kitchens are down in there, all sorts of stuff. So most of your stuff that runs the park is underneath Magic Kingdom. So every cast member goes in there. So yes, I've done a couple videos about the utilidors. So, but yep, absolutely. Let's see here. Eternal Whispers, good to see you pop in. So happy to have you. Let's see. Oh, feel bad for the Make-A-Wish children who can't go. I feel bad for a lot of the people who can't go. It will get reopened. Matterhorn used to be a great ride. It desperately needs some TLC at this point. Not because it's not getting it, it's just old. Matterhorn was the very first tubular steel roller coaster, and it is at an age where there's portions of the track that probably need to be replaced because they're just plain worn out. I mean, the silly ride is 70, it's over 60 years old, so it needs some time. It's going to need some work. As a good example, when part of the mountain actually collapsed about 2 weeks before we went there in October, it's time to give it a extended closure and some work. It needs it. So if you had to work in the parks again, what job would you do? Same ones I did. I loved my jobs. Let's see here. So I got a card here from Barry. How are you surviving the virus? Good. I was planning on going to Universal and Disney this weekend, but the park closed. Yeah. I think a lot of us ran into that. It closed right before I was going to go to Silver Dollar City. Do I think when the parks reopen, they'll raise ticket prices? No. But I could be wrong on this. However, the parks are going to be desperate for people to go into the park, and a lot of people are going to be scared to go. So now, of course, Disney's already defied me on this some, but I think they're going to want to keep the prices low to encourage people to come and overcome their fears. But then Disney did raise the food prices at Walt Disney World while they're closed. So who knows? A lot of it, they're going to wait and see what the crowds are like when they open. So, yeah, Amber, Men in Black. So, yeah, we have fun with Men in Black. Lots of stuff like that. What do I think is the future of Fire in the Hole? Okay, Silver Dollar City time. Fire in the Hole, if you don't know, is one of the original rides in Silver Dollar City. A few years in. It's a powered roller coaster that tells the story of the town of Marmaros, which the bald knobber set on fire. True story, by the way. But they've got all these sets in. It's a really fun little ride with a little roller coaster drop in it. It's showing its age. The effects in it don't always work. The soundtracks don't work. It needs some work. And the building itself there's spots of it that are shaky. There's rumors going around, have been rumors for years, they're going to close it in Flooded Mine, and of course they're not closed. There's rumors they're going to finally build a new version of it at Fireman's Landing, and replace it. I have no idea if there's anything to those rumors at all, or if they're just wishful thinking. What I think is the future, it's going to be open for at least a few more years, and then we'll see. No clue, to be totally honest. So let's see. Package from Barry for Star Wars Day with a nice little postcard there. Happy Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. So we're on the 2nd, but hey, we're pretty close. In honor of this special day, here's a Star Wars themed shirt for you. And this coming from the guy who sent me Dr. Pooh. Barry sends me such awesome shirts. There was one the other day I was wearing that was from Garrick's Tailors. That was just great. Okay. Oh, this is going to be good. So may the spark be with you. Are you ready? It is Jedi Figment. That is like totally awesome. Oh my goodness. To take a couple of my favorites and combine them. That's better than Jedi Mickey. That rules. Thank you, Barry. Yes, you'll see that one pop up in a video here soon. So, was it weird seeing characters like princesses and fur character in full or half costume doing not so Disney things? I don't want to break down too much magic. I got over that on my very first day, and just had an experience that you get past that very quickly. There is an amazing thing that I can tell you is that when the costumes go on, the characters come to life. And that's basically what goes on. So, where's the party, Amber? I don't know, Amber. Rachel got me on that one, too. She'll explain it later. So, oh, it's a joke. Okay. Let's see. Think Epcot will stay closed when Walt Disney World opens? That's going to be kind of my thoughts on that, is that when they get an excuse to open, they'll open Magic Kingdom, they'll open Studios because it's got Star Wars and everything new in it. I wouldn't be surprised if they open Animal Kingdom. But Epcot, they sent all the international workers home, so all the people that would be working World Showcase are gone. It's going to take time to get that put back in place and get them trained. And then with the construction being a mess, it provides them a good excuse. I don't know if that's what they'll do exactly, but I think it gives them a great excuse. And then the workers that would be at Epcot, they can use to fill in some of the holes that'll be at the other parks while they have no college program and international workers. So that would not surprise me at all if they keep Epcot closed for a bit and just claim that it's for precautionary reasons and stuff. So I think that's probably a pretty good guess. We'll see here in a couple months, maybe, what we do. Have I been some of the attractions in Pigeon Forge? Gabriella, let me pull up my Gatlinburg videos, because I've got a whole list from when we went there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the link to my very first video we shot in Gatlinburg, and it'll have links from there to my others. Because we went to Dollywood and our cabin and several other things in Gatlinburg and stuff. Loved that town. Very similar to Branson, by the way. So if you saw my drive through Branson, you get an idea of what Pigeon Forge is like. Pigeon Forge and Branson have a lot of similarities. A lot of them. So, let's see here. Love Fire in the Hole, Silver Dollar City. So do I. What I would love to see them do is I would love to see them take Fire in the Hole and Flooded Mine, close them for December, for the Christmas season. So close them like October, and then give them not just an off-season treatment, but give them a full rehab. Rework all the ride systems and update them and bring them back up. I don't know that Silver Dollar City will do that. We'll see. So, but yeah, Fire in the Hole Dollywood was Carson's favorite ride. Actually, at Dollywood, it's called Blazing Fury, and it is a little different. It's the exact same ride. It's still themed to firefighters, but it's more of a general firefighter theme at Dollywood, whereas Silver Dollar City, it's bald knobbers burning the town. So there's some definite similarities, same kind of ride vehicle, same track layout, and some things like that, but there are some minor differences as well, too. Which will open first, churches or theme parks? Oh, there's churches that are already reopening, because churches can work around different things. In fact, my church, we're talking about Mother's Day, possibly. And I think that's what we're going to go to. I kind of have to announce it tomorrow, so I need to make a decision. But churches can function in ways where you can have multiple services, spread people out, still keep people online, still be participating, which is what most of us have been doing. So I think you're going to see a lot of churches that will reopen with new guidelines. There have been some churches that have not closed at all. And that's a whole nother deal with me. I don't want to go into that, but yeah, churches will be open first. So let's see. What's Amber's Hogwarts house? Amber is a Hufflepuff, which she says. I'm a Ravenclaw. My son is a Gryffindor. So we figure my wife has to be a Slytherin, but she won't test because she's not into Harry Potter. So does Amber's dad embarrass her a lot? Yeah, she says, whenever he can. That's my job as a dad. Any good parent will embarrass their kids. So, I've been good tonight. I haven't embarrassed her, really. So, let's see. I would do anything to... Oh, I'm sorry, Laura. Oh, I'm very sorry. Did I watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? No, not offhand. I don't even remember what that one's about offhand. A little vulgar. It would depend upon how vulgar, but if you can, Aaron, send me a link on Facebook or something, depending upon the service. I've got Amazon Prime, and I've got Disney Plus. I do not have Netflix, or Hulu. So depending upon what it's on would dictate on whether I would be able to see it. Couple more cards here from Barry. Prescription for a great Nurses Day. Have fun. Be happy. Enjoy yourself. Repeat as necessary. Mr. Rogers once said that in difficult times, always remember the helpers. Yeah, so remember your medical professionals, the people working in grocery stores, and all the stuff that are having to deal with all of us grumpy people. Be nice. So, have I ever seen celebrities while working at Disney World? Oh, you're going to make me pull up another video here, James. So, yes, I have, and I actually talked about it. Let's see. And show a couple pictures. I can't say I necessarily got to talk and meet. Disney World has definite rules about how you deal with celebrities. And there's a link in the chat for you. In that if you are working, you are not supposed to stop the celebrity. You're not supposed to go gaga. You're definitely not supposed to pull out your phone and ask for a selfie or do autographs. If you do that, bye-bye, instant termination, you're gone. You treat them like anybody else. Unless they're backstage. I did run into a couple entourages moving through the Utilidors at Magic Kingdom. And the rule there is you step out of the way and let them pass. And let them go and then go back to what you're doing. So I did see celebrities. I just missed Miley Cyrus at one point backstage and Joan Rivers. I ran into a couple. As a photographer, I shot pictures of a couple and had no clue I was shooting them because I'm not that big into most of that stuff, except for the other guests that were standing on the side going. So I'm just kind of like, yeah. Living in Southern California, when you live down there, especially right by the beaches, you see a lot of them on their days off with their family and just wanting some time. And so you learn to let them just be normal people because they are. And that's generally what we did. Like, oh, okay, they're out having fun with their family. Good for them. So, yeah, some of the larger churches doing parking lot in-car gatherings. There's a lot of churches around here doing that. We can't because we don't have a parking lot per se. Our church is on our old main street. If you've seen my videos where I talk about the church, I actually walk out of the building and you can see we're right on the street. There's no parking lot. So there's no way we could do that and make it work at ours. But yeah, I love the idea of the parking lot church, drive-in church. I think that's really cool. So, let's see here. Another quick card from Barry. I've got two more here. Thanks, teacher. This is for my wife. So, although it's got my name, I had to double check. You make school way cool. Happy Teachers Appreciation Day. So, yes, and I can tell you your teachers are going through crazy stuff right now, trying to figure out how to make it work. Do I think that when Epcot finally reopens the rehab to the golf ball? I have no clue. On all these things, on timelines and what's going to be open and what won't be, I don't know. I don't know that Disney knows. So, Rachel, it's criminal to embarrass your children. You missed a word in there, Rachel. It's criminal to not embarrass your children. That's the kid's here to drive you nuts. You got to get your revenge somehow. So, I wouldn't want to imagine life without embarrassing my kids. And I think when it comes down to it, I think they would be disappointed if I didn't. So, but that's part of the fun. Oh, actually, this other card is for my wife. So, also for Teacher Appreciation Day. So I will pass that on to her when she gets back. She won't be back till May 17th. I'm all alone. Her mom is doing okay, for those who were wondering about that too. She went out to make a a rather sudden happening trip to Southern California to get out to visit her mom, who's been struggling with some health issues and things, and so she went out, and she's spending till May 17th out there with them. So I'm kind of going, okay, I got another 2 weeks to. Okay, this is where, if you're a praying person, pray for me, because I generally don't do worship, but for the next 3 Sundays, I've got to be the one to lead worship and play guitar and sing and everything. If there's one thing that will make me nervous and sweat and scared and everything else, it's singing and doing music at church in front of people. That's the one thing that I will start. So, and now I got to do it for 3 weeks. But, if you watch my church services for the next 3 weeks, I'm sorry about the music. Really, I am. So, if I could bring back the great movie ride and redo it, what movies would I add and take away from the ride? Ooh. I would have to think about that a little bit. I would probably get rid of the birthday cake and the dancers. I love Singing in the Rain. Got to keep Wizard of Oz. I would probably redo the Alien set, just because that was one part of the ride that did not come across real well. I love the ride as a whole, but yeah, that part was a little stiff with just the one character standing on the side, like, and that's all it did. It was like, yeah. So, have I seen Good Omens on Amazon Prime? No, I haven't. Again, with the movie recommendations, because I'm going to forget them in 5 minutes here, send me a link through Facebook. That way it's in writing and I can remember it. I tell my people at church all the time, if you want me to remember something, write it down or it's gone. So, friend sent me a story that 2 high schools in Flagler County is giving grads diploma at the finish line as they drive Daytona. Yes, I actually just saw this article myself like an hour or two ago. Not just Daytona, but Texas Motor Speedway is doing something similar where they're doing the graduation on pit road. So both of them. But the grads at Florida, they're going to basically drive across the finish line, pick up their diploma through the car window, and then be able to circle the whole entire track. I'm like, that's kind of cool. So, let's see here. Rachel, I will for those wishing my wife Happy Teacher's Day, Appreciation Day, I will definitely pass it on to her. Had shot photos of Brian Vickers dolphin swim when I worked at Discovery Cove. Brian Vickers was a great Busch driver in NASCAR. I enjoyed watching Brian Vickers. I got to meet several NASCAR drivers when I was a kid, late high school, just before I started college. One of my friends was actually track chaplain at Cedar Point, now called Infineon Raceway in California. And so I had 3 years in a row where I got to go assist him with the NASCAR Winston Cup at the time. I was backstage with drivers, went to the drivers' meetings, sat next to Jeff Gordon at one of the drivers' meetings, and got to meet a number of the drivers and stuff. So, yes, love that. One of the things I like is how NASCAR's always been open, but yeah, I got special access compared to some and got to meet some people. And again, because I was working, I didn't do the picture thing, and that was at a time when we didn't have cell phones. But yeah, it's some neat stories from that. I do have racing programs and several of the autographs that I did do. So, am I recovering all right from my heart issues? My heart issues are not something I'm going to necessarily recover from. What my heart issues are, it's not like a heart attack or something like that. The big, long medical term for it is hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. And basically, the muscle that is in the middle of my heart when it should be like this, like that, is like this. It's an enlarged heart muscle, and it's something that is not going to shrink. So, which most of the time is not a problem, but with your valve at the bottom where that muscle is particularly, where the muscle is particularly large, if you overexert the muscle, then what can possibly happen is as it's pumping, it can actually push so hard in such a way that it would actually close the valve. And that's the danger with it. And so I have to be very careful not to overexert So strenuous physical activity, it's why I can't do heavy lifting. If there's snow, no snow shoveling, no heavy physical exercise, stuff like that. Adrenaline is fine. The heart pumping actively is a good thing. It's not when it's stressed. And so my doctor, when I asked him, he's like, "Yeah, roller coaster's fine. Adrenaline good, physical exertion bad." Got it. I can do that. So my heart's fine. Actually, my blood pressure, believe it or not, is actually down a little bit compared to what it was. My weight's up because of all this time inside and me not liking exercise. But the heart it's one of those things that it's just something I'm going to have for the rest of my life. So, and as long as I'm careful and drink lots of fluids, lots of water, so I do have my water as well, and stuff like that, we'll keep it under control. So that's kind of what the story of my heart is here. Let's see here. Cast members have to ignore celebrities, who they are, right? Yep. Well, okay, so I was at a Disney Christmas taping and guest asked the CM who the celebrity was. She said she didn't know. That actually wouldn't surprise me. When I had people tell me in the parks, "Oh, look, it's so-and-so," I'm like, who are they? I don't know. We didn't necessarily know who was on the Disney Channel at the time and stuff like that. So, no, that wouldn't surprise me at all. The park does not necessarily tell you who the celebrities are coming into the park, especially if they're there just to play and do other stuff. They may tell you that there's a taping going on somewhere and stay out of that area or help keep it clear, but they don't necessarily tell you who's there. So, no, that wouldn't surprise me. I would say easily half of the celebrities I saw at Disney, I didn't have any clue who they were. So, like I said, the times I shot them, people, "Oh my goodness, do you know who that was?" I'm like, "No, who? Am I supposed to know who that is? I don't know." So, no, that wouldn't surprise me at all, Julie. "Arr, Joseph, are you trying to talk pirate? I noticed that somebody said it was Scurvy Appreciation Day, but, Joseph Howarth. See, September 19th is one of my favorite days. It'd be Talk Like a Pirate Day. That would be the day that the pirates held up the train and their schooner got stranded in the middle of the woods." Oh, yeah. I love Talk Like a Pirate Day. Okay, that's a whole nother deal. I won't go there. Rachel D., wait till you become a parent. Let's see. Church I attend starting services back in person just this week. Families sit together, 6-foot distance between families. Use of hand sanitizer only. Sanctuary. Actually, when we reopen, our restrooms are closed. We've got small single service restrooms. No restrooms. We will keep services an hour or less, so people can come in, get out. Front door is going to be propped open in our case, so nobody has to touch the front door. Distance between families. Hand sanitizer will be there. Yep. We don't have a mother's room. We won't have Sunday school and some of the other stuff. So, yeah. Let's see. Craig's going to be cringing these next several Sundays. Craig actually shocked me last Sunday. He said it wasn't too bad. I was like, "Are you okay, Craig?" Let's see. Boy, I'm like way behind on this chat here, aren't I? So, okay, so I'm going to kind of jump down. Crazy Mike, I think I answered the question on the roller coasters affecting my heart. Did my daughter ever get to ride X2 again? Nope. So, no, she hasn't. Am I a hockey fan? One of the deals I made with my wife when I got married was I would ease up on some of the sports, so I wasn't sports dominant because she doesn't care about them. So I'm an NFL and a NASCAR fan, and that's pretty much about all I watch, just so that I don't get wrapped up in it. So I like hockey. I could tell you who the teams are. I couldn't even tell you who most of the players are now. If I had a chance to go to a game, I absolutely would. I love watching it, but I can't say I'm a big fan. I can't say I even have a team. Closest thing I would have to a team would be the San Jose Sharks, because I lived in Northern California when they started, but that would be about as close as I get. There's lots of pirate songs on YouTube. Let's see. Oh, but November 21st is Doctor Who Day. Who? What? Wow, did I catch up? Sort of. There was something else I was actually going to talk about. I got to think about it now. Amber, what else was I going to talk about? What's That was my dog. My dog agreed. That's funny. After your daughter rode X, when your wife found out, was my life in danger? Well, I did say it was a scary thing, didn't I? Oh, yeah, I thought she was going to beat me. We were living in an apartment with a back patio, and Amber, we walk into the back door because it was our parking lot was there. So we walk in through the back door. Amber walks into the living room and goes, "Mom, guess what I did? I rode X." And I was just like, "Love you, hun." Turned right around and started back out. "No, you don't." So, what's my favorite video I've made? Oh, gosh. I don't know, but do you realize how many videos I've actually made now? And you want me to try to pick out one video in all of that? I don't think I could, to be honest with you. Let me see. How many videos do I have here? Does it tell me offhand? I had a deal at one point. Their old system would tell you how many videos you've got. Let me let my dog out. She's being goofy. Come on, Sealy. All right. Get that. I love doing the silly and dumb guest videos. They're a lot of fun. They are also a ton of work. Just because trying to splice in all of the different people and the parts and everything else and recording all the segments. So they're a lot of fun. They're very satisfying when I'm done with them, but they take a bunch of time. And I'm trying to pull up my editor here just so I can show you what it looks like when I do an edit. And I'll share the screen here in just a second. Let's see. Okay, so let me do this. So this is a typical edit. In fact, this is actually the tour group video I just released. And so you can kind of see these are soundtracks down here. This is the video part up here. And so you can see, kind of see basically how it is. And each one of those little lines is a segment that's blocked. So let me show you the last silly guest video here, which would be this one. Okay, now you got that idea. Now look at all that mess, which should give you an idea of just how much more work it is. So they're fun. I love them, but oh my goodness, they're rough. But for me, some of the most fun videos are the ones where I've got just a great memory with a couple great stories to go along with it. Those are a lot of fun. So, have I ever been to any Disney water parks? Yes, I've been to all the Disney water parks. Absolutely loved them. So, is BBC okay with the Disney Dr. Pooh shirt? Probably as much as Disney is okay with it. I don't think it's official on either part. So. Do I watch Looney Tunes? Not so much anymore, just because of time. My TV viewing time is not big. I did finally start watching the new DuckTales. Don't laugh at me. We've been laughing because since I've been doing the Park Tales so long with the song that's kind of like the DuckTales, it's a parody of it, that when we were watching it, I kept saying the wrong stuff. But yes, I have finally started watching the new DuckTales, which is a lot of fun. And if you don't know, David Tennant is actually Scrooge in it, so that makes it a lot of fun. Favorite roller coaster? The one I'm on. Make a best of Sir Willow, so make that one your best. Actually, Crazy Mike, I did do a best of Sir Willow quite a while back. Let's see here. What was that, cat? Let's see here. So this is actually the Sir Willow's 10 Greatest Moments. This is my 100th episode. So that'll give you a little bit of fun to watch that one there. And there's some great moments. I am working on my 4th anniversary episode, and I've got a couple things done for it already. I'm hoping to have it ready mid-May. It is going to be a lot of work because I got a lot of stuff I'm doing. I'm revisiting my original format and my middle format and some of the end format, and I'm throwing in some extra stuff. I got a couple parody things. It's going to be a lot of work, but it is in the process. So we are hoping that it comes together the way I'm hoping. If you got some funny stuff you'd like to see, or some ideas or parodies or suggestions or anything at all, throw them out, no matter how random it is. It is definitely going to be a very kind of random video with random stuff happening, but I think that's going to be part of the fun of it. BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation, they're the ones who own and produce Doctor Who. So, let's see. Yes, Amber's the one who got me watching DuckTales, by the way. So, but, yeah, it keeps it busy. I knew I had something else I was going to talk about, and I can't remember what it was, and this is going to drive me nuts now. Don't you hate when that happens? I don't have a clue. I don't know. Let's see, how many do we've got 64 of you watching me sit here and go, blah, 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 blah. So, I even had a whole thing set up for it. Oh, this is what happens when you get old. You completely forget what you're doing. Hi, SoCal Meteorite Hunter. Thank you again for that meteor, by the way. That was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Very cool. That's one of the coolest things I've ever gotten. Okay, here's something I can show you. One of the other coolest things I've actually got sitting right here. Since I was talking about pins, I was actually going to show my pins. Early on, when I very first started doing the live streams, actually I did mail calls, and they weren't even live at the time because I didn't have the capability. And but one of the sets of pins I had been collecting for quite a while was this set of Figment pins. One of my few favorites I can actually talk about is I do have a favorite character, and I finally came to terms with that, and that would be Figment. Well, I had this incredible set of Figment pins right down here at the bottom, where Figment was in all these different outfits from all the different countries around the World Showcase. And loved the set, one of my favorite sets. But I didn't have one pin. I was missing Canada. And so it was like the 3rd mail call I'd ever done. I had one viewer that sent me a package to open up in a video, which I'm still amazed that people send me stuff. And he's been wonderful. That was Richard. But then another viewer realized I wanted this pin because I had talked about it. Well, they found it and they sent it to me. And so that would be the Canada pin right there. And if you go back and you look at my early mail calls, I almost cry with that pin because I am so shocked because I tried for years to get this pin, and it was just really, really hard to even find. And if you did find it, they wanted like $100 for it. And it was like, oh my goodness. Okay, time to let the dogs in. Who let the dogs in? Who? Come on, dum-dums. This is what you get when you get live video. So, can I do a new video of my least favorite rides and shows at Disney? I've actually thought about that. I've got a couple different things in the works on it. The problem I have is there is very little I don't like at Disney. In fact, almost nothing. And my daughter, if she's still on here, she'll chime in and tell you, yeah, everybody says, oh, there's got to be something you don't like. There really isn't. I tend to very much enjoy pretty much everything. So if you start saying, well, what's your least favorite? I don't know. I don't have one. There's not much I don't like. I don't even know what to put there. Even stuff that people say, oh gosh, that was terrible. How could you like that? I liked Superstar Limo, okay? That should give you an idea. Superstar Limo lasted like 6 months at California Adventure. We were blessed enough to get to ride it when it was there. I liked it. I thought it was cheesy. It was kind of weird, but I liked it. So, it's very hard for me to do stuff like that. The one video I did with the worst roller coasters I've ever been on, that's still pretty consistent. I would have added the Green Lantern to that list, but otherwise that list is still pretty much up to date. So it's easier for me to put a list of things I like a little better than everything else. But yeah, how long did I work at Silver Dollar City? 3 years. So from 2012 to 2014. So and loved it. I would love to go back and work again. The train is I love to go back and work the train the way it was when I was there. It's not that way now. And I don't know that I could do that the way it is at the moment. But I don't want to go... I don't want to talk down about it, but we caught it really at... it was like a golden age for it. Had absolutely loved it. And it's not the same now. It's not the same. Oh, the porg in the background. You like my porg? That's also from a viewer. Staring into my soul. I am staring at the man. And my dog's down here now going again. What? Come here. You're gonna keep running on. There's the other one. Yeah. Well, yes, I know. You oink like a pig. Okay? There. Now go away. You got bad breath. Oh my goodness, dog. Whoo! All right. Hi, Brenta and Sweetwater. Maybe it's a dad thing about liking Superstar Limo. You know, Gabrielle, that might be it. It's because Superstar Limo was one of those rides that, as a dad, you could just totally harass and tease your kids about, make bad jokes, and so I don't know. But yeah, I know a lot of people didn't like it. I know a lot of people hated it. There's a reason it closed after 6 months. I had fun with it. I do think the Monsters, Inc. version is better than Superstar Limo is. By the way, this is Ruby. You get to see all my animals tonight. Is that so? Yeah, just rub against the microphone. I don't think they need to hear you rubbing. We're not doing ASMR videos here, Kat. As I was saying, the Monsters Inc. ride at Disney California Adventure is a much better ride than Superstar Limo was. So I can say that, but I can't say I disliked Superstar Limo. What was the strangest thing you ever robbed? Actually, I'm thinking of a couple things other guys robbed. I got used gum stuck in my hand. I had drinks poured on my head. I loved it when people gave me food. I would get that occasionally. Goodness, I'm trying to think some of the weird things. We would steal people's hats and sunglasses all the time. Are you having fun? I did have people try to hand me their children. That always scared me. It's like because they're taking babies and kids and they're holding them out over the side of a train. And you're kind of going, if that kid slips from your hand, I can't catch it. And it's going to hit the ground, which is like 8 feet below you because the way the train, well, it wasn't 8 feet below. It was more like 4, but still, it was a good drop. I'm like, why are you holding your kids out that way? Yeah, crazy stuff like that. We had people spit on us. We had people throw punches at us. They were rare, thankfully, and you could usually spot them. But yeah, we got some terrible stuff like that. Clark Mazzaro, in what ways did the train change? There's a few things that have happened. Okay, Ruby, I'm going to let you come here so you quit rubbing the microphone. One, it got more PC. It was politically corrected in several spots, including parts of the mall show that got cut out. And to the point where it made parts of the mall show not make any sense, which was frustrating. The guns were an ongoing issue because they started getting very worried about people's perception of guns. We live in an area that is very high gun ownership, very responsible with gun ownership and stuff. And I'm like, why are you worrying about guns around here? It's part of history anyways. Hello. Okay, Ruby, time for you to go. Goodbye. But that was one of the reasons they decided to replace the shotgun with a 410, which is barely bigger than a BB gun. And then the cartridges they put in it were so small, it was like a pop gun. And then something happened and it didn't work. And so they started carrying pistols and then they just quit. I have no idea what they were going to do as far as guns go, but I'm like, really? Just parts of it were getting cut out. And then the lead that was on it is not one that works well with impromptu stuff. She wants to know what's happening, and if we were very impromptu a lot of times. So various things like that just change the atmosphere of the train. If you've never been on it, you probably wouldn't know the difference, but having worked it, I can see things that have changed, and I can see the different way they deliver stuff and stuff like that, and so I struggle. I ride it to get footage of the new ride and stuff like that. I do like the Christmas train, but generally I don't get as much about riding the train anymore because I see everything wrong with it instead of what's right. It's a terrible attitude to have when you ride the train. I'm not right about that. I'll admit that's my problem, but it's a hard thing to do when you've worked on it. Said that it didn't like selling things when people were eating at the restaurants. Anything or anywhere where you didn't like to work. As far as in the theme parks goes, Matt is referring to, there was a time when PhotoPass took pictures at the resorts at the meals. For example, Chef Mickey's at the Contemporary or the Luau at Ohana, or at the Polynesian Village. And we would take the pictures, and then during the meal, we would take the pictures up to them and show them pictures and sell them. I hated that. Did not like that. I was not in this to sell pictures. I was in this to take pictures and let them sell themselves. They actually don't do that anymore. Now, if you go to those meals, your picture's automatically added to your PhotoPass. It's included. You don't get charged for it. I would do that. The only other thing I would say I didn't like, the closest thing would have been Test Track, and actually Test Track didn't bother me that much. Test Track at the time, we had one person that would be at the exit to the ride where you would see your pictures, and they would be helping people scan because the scanners, for whatever reason, when they installed the picture scanner at the time, instead of being straight, it was at an angle. And so you had to, when you were taking your PhotoPass card up, you couldn't just stick it up straight like you expect to. You'd have to hold it at an angle to get it to scan it right. Well, nobody would do that getting off the ride. So if we saw people wanting to scan a card, we'd have to scan it for them. Well, we had 5 screens. I think it was 4 or 5. I think it was 5. And they were timed because you had people constantly getting off the ride. So it was only up there for a few seconds. It was like 15, 20 seconds or so, 20 seconds. And that's the only time. Once it was gone, it was gone. So it was constantly trying to get people, do you want that picture? Is that you? Let me scan your card. Get your card. Get your card. And we had to keep a stack of cards in our hand so that way they do, I'd scan the card and then have to hand it to them. Well, I don't want another card. Too bad you missed your picture otherwise because you were puttering around. That was rough sometimes. So that might have been the only other place I didn't like. Other than that, I love it. So, ever go to Knott's? Yes, I've been to Knott's. In fact, there's a whole story about me riding my first looping roller coaster at Knott's. Love Knott's. I'm way behind now, aren't I? When Disney reopens, will they sell Disney face masks? They actually are already selling Disney masks online. If you go to Shop Mickey, they have them available. You can get Stitch and Star Wars and other stuff too. So, yep, they've already bought that. What was the price I saw? I think it's like $20 for 4, I think. Don't quote me on that, but they are available. So, don't you dare kick the cat out. I didn't kick the cat out. I put her down, told her go away. So, let's see here. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Ruby, you're beautiful. She's a pretty cat, but she's very thin. She's old. She has no teeth now. So she's getting up there. Do the cats and dogs get along? Yeah, pretty much. They leave each other alone. They don't snuggle up or anything. So, as Amber says, she kind of covered that already. See you later, Tom. It was good to have you here. In California, the biggest gun you can legally own is a shotgun. Any automatics are banned. Depends upon when you got it. If you had it earlier, they were grandfathered in. But you have semi-automatics that are still legal. And I don't want to get into a whole legal thing. But hunters and stuff can all have their guns and stuff too. It is much more restricted in California than here. Here, it's much more open. Let's see. Austin Audio. Can't wait to start your job at Disney. Yay! First day was scheduled right before Disney World closed. So keep on it. They will get you there eventually. And I'm sorry this is keeping you from doing that. Let's see. Anyone dealing with bad tour groups should get that type of pay. Oh. The tour groups were interesting. So everybody had to deal with tour groups. So yeah, we kind of joked that you need hazard pay, but if one cast member gets it, every cast member gets it, and you know what you're getting into when you work. It was definitely one, though, when you first start and people start warning you about the tour groups. Oh, just get ready for this group when they come in. And you're going, oh, they can't really be that bad, can they? And then you deal with them and go, yep, they're that bad. So, Clark, Missouri. My first looping coaster was not Montezuma's Revenge. It was the Corkscrew, which was actually the very first looping steel coaster ever built. It opened up the year before Revolution at Magic Mountain. It's no longer there. It was where the Boomerang sat for a while. Corkscrew was what had been there before, and now it's the dive coaster. And I'm forgetting the name offhand, but that's where it was. So, favorite rifle is the 1861 Springfield. I actually don't have any guns myself. My stepfather had some. When he passed away, his sons took those. I have nothing against guns at all. I'm just like, I'm not going to go shoot it anywhere. I generally try to not get anybody mad at me enough to shoot me, so I generally don't worry too much about them. And I don't have time to go hunting. So, but, and hang time. Thank you, Clark. But yeah, even if I had time to go hunting, I wouldn't want to be dealing with the cleanup afterwards either. So, but good night, Rachel. Good to have you with me. Boy, I've been going an hour and 15 minutes already. And I still got 64 of you on here. Y'all must be bored to be hanging around me. So, gosh, and I know, and so I'm trying to think what that was. Sealy, stop. My dog is just driving me crazy. So, first looper was Hershey Park Super Duper Looper. I'm trying to remember. I think that was an old Arrow corkscrew as well. You're going to make me think here. I think it was... Oh, it was Schwarzkopf. Okay, so... Oh, yeah, that's definitely a Schwarzkopf. Looking at the... here, let me show you what I'm looking at here. Looking at a picture I found online of it there. This is how much of a nerd I am. I can look at the train and the track style and go, oh, yeah, that's an Anton. Although he's using a little bit different type of loop structure there. But that actually loop structure is almost the same as Revolution and Magic Mountain. But, yep. Yeah, that's definitely an Anton Schwarzkopf, so... But it's terrible when you're such a nerd that you can look at track and go, oh, I know who built that. So, Silver Dollar City closed forever. Nothing is closed forever, Robert. Nobody knows when it's going to reopen. Nobody knows when any of the parks are going to reopen. But no, nothing is closed forever. They just don't know when they can open up again. So, Rise of Skywalker will be on Disney Plus May 4th. Well, yeah, of course. It's Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. Rather watch me than being at work. I can't understand that. So, which is better, Disney World's Haunted Mansion or Disneyland's? You know, there are some people on that one that go into detail. Disney World has the Escher Room, which is unique to it. Disneyland has the Hatbox Ghost. Other than that, they're about the same. I do like Disneyland having the actual elevator and then a little bit more walking queue in the house first. But for me, they're about the same. I don't put one above the other. What are my thoughts on Disney Paris? Have I ever been? Christopher Cade. Oh, must be a new viewer. Okay, let me pull up my Disneyland Paris videos here. Yes, I did get to go a few years ago. Let's see here. And I was really, really blessed with how that whole trip worked out. Um, Let me see. There's part one. I've got several videos from the trip. Basically, what happened was uh, shortly after I started the channel, here, I had a viewer of mine who does video production and stuff uh, happened to cross paths with me. He was coming through the area on a trip with his family and wanted to know if we could meet up. Oh, sure. I happened to be up in Kansas City. We met for lunch, talked, had a great time, got along very well, and introduced him to my family as well because we were up there picking up my niece. Well, over time, we began to talk, and I don't want to give too much details because I don't know how much he wants to say, but he and I struck up a good friendship and everything. Well, he had this trip to Disneyland Paris. He was going to take his kids, but due to various things, he wasn't able to go with them. He was going to meet them there, and it was actually cheaper for him to have me go fly with his kids over and stay with them and then fly back than it would be for him to go because of his circumstances and pick them up and go back with them. So he sent me a text message while I was actually out to eat with my church staff and said, "Hey, if I covered everything, would you want to go to Disneyland Paris?" Duh. And my wife actually looked at me and said, "No, you're not going to Disneyland Paris." But dear, and we had about a month of talking about this, and my first thought was it was a joke, and then realized he was serious. So yes, I got to go to Paris for a week. Spent it was actually cheaper for us to get an annual pass to Disneyland Paris. So I actually had an annual pass for a year, even though I used it only 5 days, and just had an absolute ball. Prettiest Disney park I've been to, absolutely. So yes. But that link will take you to Disneyland Paris and give you that. Robert Blosey, Silver Dollar City closed for the season. Okay, so Robert, let me give you and others that somehow have missed what's going on an update here. There is this thing going around called the coronavirus that has every park in the country closed, and nobody knows when it's going to be safe to reopen. All they've said is they're going to be closed at least until certain dates, and when they can reopen safely, then they will reopen, but nobody knows at what point that date is. They all want to open this year. They all hope to open this year. They all hope to open by summer, but they don't know. So nothing is closed for the season. Nothing's closed for the year or permanently. They just don't know when they can open. Okay? Hope that works. But no, nobody knows opening dates. We just don't. And we will later. So, Schwarzkopf is probably one of the coolest loop structures. I love the old Schwarzkopf coasters. Great loops, very intense, but very, very fun. So, let's see. Is that the one, Crazy Mike? Is that the one where my son was yelling pizza? No, my son didn't go to Paris with me. The pizza story is actually from Costa Rica when he was young. Disneyland Paris was just 2 years ago? Was 2018? Yeah, 2 years ago when I went to Disneyland Paris, so not that far. Hi, Werewolf Lost Boy. And hello, John Cadle and Homestead. So, let's see. Okay, I'm just kind of. I kick butt. Well, you should have seen my dog earlier. I was ready to kick their butt. What's my favorite Lost Boy from Peter Pan? Cubby, but there's actually a reason for that. Ginger or Sealy, stop! My dog's over there scratching. I'm like, Urgh. Okay. Let's see here if I can find this photo here that I'm meaning to show you. And it's going to take me a second here to find this. Because it's not going to... Alright. I know what I want to look for, and I got to see... I got my picture program right here. And so that is where I'm trying to find this nice little picture of us. That's the video one. And... okay, here we go. Finally. Takes me forever to pull these things up sometimes. This is why I like Cubby. There's Cubby. It's when we got to go to not so scary party a couple years ago, and we were blessed. We did Peter Pan. So I'm Smee. My wife was Wendy. Amber is doing Tinkerbell with a oh gosh, a punk, not punk, but steampunk look. There we go. Get my brain working right. And then my son is Cubby, the Lost Boy. More because he knew he had this bear suit already and he was lazy. We gave him a bad time. So it's like 80 degrees and he's wearing this heavy hot thing. but yeah. Yeah, if I were to pick a favorite Lost Boy, that would be it. So am I buying any of the exclusive Disney pins from Disney Shop? No, money. So it's just one of those things that we, like I said, when I got the stimulus check, I spent, I didn't tell you how much I spent on the pins. I spent about $100. That was my splurge. Otherwise, we don't have money for stuff like that. So I would love to be able to buy some of those pins. I really would. But no, I am definitely trying to pinch my pennies. My focus is Tokyo next year, if budget allows. That is my hope, is to be able to go to Tokyo. So I am trying to save everything that way. Would I like a park map of Cedar Point if you go? Absolutely. Park maps, brochures, anything at all like that, I love. Collect them, open up on a live stream. Oh, yeah, stuff like that is very, very cool. So anything at all, any park maps, new, old, whatever, I absolutely love and very happy to share them. I've had a couple people, in fact, send me suggestions asking me to share some of my park maps. And I would definitely be interested in doing that. I would love to do it. The problem becomes how to do it effectively, because if you've seen the pictures in my office, I have 2 file cabinets that are full of park maps and brochures, and I mean, there's literally thousands of them in there for more parks than I've been to. So a couple hundred parks at least. So then it's like, which ones do I show and how do I do it? So if you've got some ideas, if you'd like me to do a video on all the park maps and stuff I have, if you can send me some ideas on how to do it in such a way that would be interesting and fun and not just me droning on going, oh, look, this is on how to do it effectively, I would love it. Definitely give me your input. I think that it can be fun. I'm just, the old uncreative brain is going, I gotta get my brain around this and figure out how to do it. So definitely give me some ideas that way, and I'd be happy to do a video like that. Carol Schleter, hi George, hi Mom. Don't beat me up, Mom. So now, let's see, you got my daughter, my son was on earlier, and now my mother is on. So let's see. Orange County, Florida, where Disney World's located, said not until phase 3 from what you've heard. Yeah, we've got there's a lot of things that have to happen before parks get open. If we can get restaurants and stuff open safely, and that's going to be a key word, and not create more of a mess, and then gradually make it more open and safely, we're going to kind of have to wait and see. There are some people not saying till next year, but they're not anybody who have anything to do with theme parks or safety. The big one everybody's quoting is the New York Times said they won't open until next year. It was an economics guy who has no stinking clue what he's talking about. He's talking out his ear, which is better than other parts you could talk out of. He has no clue. Don't put any stock in any of that, because the people who know aren't saying anything. So, is that a Grumpy statue you see? Right there, yes, that would be Grumpy. It's actually a lawn thing with a little light in it, and I just never put it outside. So, did we get our car situation resolved? Yes, we did. I'm assuming you mean from when the deer hit it. That was a while back. Yeah, got it all fixed up. We had a deer that decided he wanted to play tag with our car, and it lost. But yeah, everything's fixed up. It's in fact, we actually got the car re-registered before it even registered in the system that it was salvage. So yeah, it's all set to go. Did I enjoy being able to shop a Company D when I was a cast member? Company D is not a big thing. If you're not a cast member, there's like this mythos and, oh, it's a cast member only store. It must have so much cool stuff. The whole store, honestly, would most of the versions of it would fit into my living room and kitchen. They were about that big. Not very big stores. They would have a small selection of pins that they would keep behind the counter with a little display case that would show you which one, and you'd walk up and say, "I like number 1 and number 4, please." They had a few jewelry pieces and lanyards. So, like my Mickey lanyard there, that actually came from Company D. If you can see it, try to get the light. And then they had replacement water bottles. They would have some hats and sunglasses that were company approved. A few things to wear, like a few shirts and stuff like that. But there really wasn't that much in it. So a few souvenirs for cast members, a few things for work. And that was all that it was. It was not a very big store. So I would go in like maybe when I had some extra money. I might stop in like every 2 or 3 weeks, maybe once a month, just to look at the pins, because that was about all I was interested in. Or occasionally a lanyard, or when my water bottle wore out or the strap wore out. Okay, let's go buy another one. Other than that, there really wasn't much in there. So it's one of those that there's a big mythos, and I wish that I could get some pictures of them, but because they're backstage, it's not allowed. But yeah, it's tough. Top 10 maps I like. That would be hard. That really would, White Cats. That's a great idea. But again, I've got 1,000 maps from a couple hundred parks. And so I'd be trying to find unusual ones, and it's harder. I mean, I could try to come up with some stuff. I'd be trying to find things that people wouldn't have, probably that way. So, I don't know. That might be an idea. Discovery Channel thing on Cedar Point back in the 2000s. Oh, there used to be a whole lot of roller coaster specials. I've actually got several of them on VHS tape, and I'm writing down that maps idea because I want to make sure I don't forget it. But there used to be a whole bunch of roller coaster specials on TV, and I actually had still have a bunch of them on VHS. I need to get them converted to DVD or onto a computer, which would be even better. Because I'm actually in a couple of those things. Not the Discovery Channel one so much. We were on the Disney, or the Travel Channel Disney Cruise one, but yeah, I've got all those things because as a roller coaster nut, I recorded everything. I have all sorts of videos on my computer, in fact, here just to show you how much of a nerd, because I don't think some of you realize how much of a nerd I am here. Okay, so let's see. Let me slide this up just to let you see here. Okay, so video. So theme park and roller coaster videos. This little file right here, and I wish I could use some of these in my videos, but because they are not mine, I have 6 gigs of old videos, which means the resolution on these things is not real good. Gatorland promotional commercials. Okay, so here's a good one for you. I can get away with this for about 2 seconds. How many of you remember this guy? And you can see the low quality resolution it is. But yeah, so I'm not going to play the music because otherwise they'll hit me with copyright stuff. But yeah, so I mean, I've got all sorts of different things here. Let's see. So I mean, I've got a ton of stuff I've collected. A couple of these are mine that I've actually posted before, from different parts of the world and all sorts of stuff. And then, like I said, I got all these VHS tapes. So I'd love to be able to do it. I just can't post them and share them because they're not mine legally. So, do I remember the drive-in movie theater in the Bay Area? I didn't go that far. We had a couple drive-in theaters in Sacramento, so if we wanted to go to the drive-in, we'd go there. No reason to drive 2 hours to the Bay Area when we had one 10 minutes away. Hulkshooter, upset that Disney hasn't continued construction because it's prime construction time. The problem you have is balancing out the desire to do construction. Yeah, it's a great time to do construction because there's nobody in the parks, But at the same time, I'm getting all sorts of chat messages here. At the same time, it's very difficult because you have to keep in mind the safety of the people working and keep them safe from all this stuff too. And they've been doing different approaches. That, and then depending upon how you consider the government regulations. So it's really tough about how do they do. It's one of those things I don't know that there is a right answer there. So 200 people in Disney parks, Disney can't sustain itself on 200 people in the parks. If they had 10,000 people in the park, it would still feel empty to you, and they might be able to cover costs. I don't know that I ever worked a day at Disney that there was less than 8,000, 10,000, because the park feels empty with that. A normal day for Disney would have, at Magic Kingdom, I'm just saying, normal day at Magic Kingdom would have 40 to 50,000 people. So if you put 10,000 in, it's going to feel empty. Lots of space that way. Am I still taking submissions from people that talk about their stories? Yes, absolutely. All the time. Email it to me, and I will have more. I've actually got a few stories. I will have another one of those coming up here in the next couple weeks. Best way to experience the thrill of roller coasters with all the parks closed on video. That's about the only way to do it right now. Let's see. If I've got park maps from the same park over time, you might be able to do a how this park changed. I do have that with some. Disneyland, I can do it a little bit from the 80s. I can do it with Magic Mountain. I can do it with some of the Florida parks as well. Some of those would be nice if I could have more maps to be able to fill it in. Prices of Company D at nice. They're not any different than outside the park. The cast pins that I bought, they were the same price as the pins in the park. They just weren't sold to regular guests. It's not cheap stuff. Now, Disney does have a spot called Cast Connection. It is not Company D. Different thing. The Cast Connection is actually where they have the stuff that has been discontinued in the parks that they're getting ready to mark down, get rid of, clearance items, things like that. And believe it or not, if you actually go to the, what's it called? The Character Connection. Disney has 2 outlet stores in the Orlando area. And the prices in those for the stuff, it's the same stuff as you get at the Cast store. And believe it or not, the prices are actually the same. I actually found some pins for sale at one of those stores on one of my trip that were $1 less each than they were over at the Cast clearance store. So take that for what you will. Now, the Cast Connection does have things you won't find at the other store. For example, all my plates that we eat off of here, they're actually all old Disney plates that they used to use at the resorts, and they changed the plates, and so they sold them to the cast members for $1 each. So we eat off of Disney plates. So yeah, that's Cast Connection. It's not Company D. But outside of used stuff that you get to buy fairly cheaply, the closeout stuff you can actually get just as cheap. My phone is going crazy in my pocket. And that's my brother-in-law. So I will have to send them a message here. Hang on, let me... Like I said, I'm getting all sorts of messages. Hey, live video. Okay. Send a note to him that way. Okay, let me try. Let's see. Time Traveler Mug, Wildfire Shot Glass. There was a magnet I really wanted to get last year and I didn't. Okay. See if I can get my thought brain. Reason for questioning regarding drive-in is it was near the original Marine World USA. No, it was. I actually grew up, Laura, in Sacramento area. So while it was the parks I grew up going to, it's because the closest thing to me was Cal Expo or Thunderland, which was by the zoo. And it just had a little dinky thing there. So the others were within a couple hours. So somebody asking, can you tell my story? I do evaluate each story that I get sent and evaluate whether I think they're true or not. And we'll just kind of leave that at that. Splash Mountain or Space Mountain? Toss up. Toss up. I don't know. Either one. Carol Schluter, can you share any stories about Sir Willow as a boy? Oh, you are asking for a can of worms there. Yeah, the cookie dough fight is one that gets brought up a bunch. We have an old family recipe of cream cheese cookies. It's like a cream cheese sugar cookie that you can use for rolling and stuff. Well, Mom made me a batch while they were going out for the night and left me and my sister alone. Well, it's a wonderful dough that you can use with cookie cutters and rolling it out. It's also a little bit on the sticky side. So they're gone, and we took a little bit of the cookie dough, and we made a target out of cookie dough on the door, and then took little balls of cookie dough and threw it at the target on the door so you could get the best score. It was a great fun game, and all sorts of other stuff. They were finding bits of cookie dough months later. We could also talk about the mud fight we had being at Discovery Island. Yes, I did. I'm actually surprised they haven't had this kind of thing happen before. Discovery Island, for those of you who don't know, it's an island in the middle of, is it Bay Lake? I believe it's Bay Lake. At Walt Disney World, one of the big lakes that are there. That used to be an animal center. It was kind of the precursor to Animal Kingdom. And when they opened up Animal Kingdom, they closed this down, and it's now just sitting there abandoned. But you can use a boat and go by it. There's a couple people that have gone onto it, which is trespassing, and videoed. Some homeless guy managed to get over to the island and crawled in, and he's been camping there. It made a huge deal about getting him out. But yeah, stay away. It's dangerous because of the stuff that's there. So, when I worked at Epcot, 15,000 guests were considered a slow day. Quiet, empty park. Yeah, that sounds about right. Epcot could hold a lot more people than Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom, when I was there, they considered capacity 75 to 80,000 people. And that's about where they would go, and that's when they'd be closing the gates. Epcot, because it was so much bigger, could put in a lot more. The New Year's Eve I was there, we had 109. So, yeah. So that sounds about right. Brothers and sisters had a syrup fight. Oh, that would be massive. I did have one time my mother was ready to kill me because I was homesick as a kid, and she'd left a 2-liter bottle of soda, and I couldn't get it open because I wasn't feeling good, and so I got mad, and I took this 2-liter bottle, and I just threw it on the ground because, hey, it's plastic, so what? And it exploded and blew the top off and went everywhere. I got in trouble for that one. So homeless guy couldn't have been riding Splash Mountain. Splash Mountain's a Magic Kingdom, not on the island, but I know what you meant. He was swimming in the pool. But need a show with my mom as a guest. Oh, I don't know. That would be kind of scary. I don't know what she would think about that, because she's not used to being on camera, and I don't know, Mom. How can I put this? There are times that my mother is not, shall we say, family friendly. Is that a good way to put it? I can just see my mom getting me censored. So she could tell you some great stories, but they may not necessarily be appropriate stories. So, worked at a local tourist attraction. Got let go at Christmas and didn't know how much you love the job till it's gone. It is an amazing thing that if you love working at the parks, you'll really love it. It is an addicting kind of thing. It's why you have so many people go to work at Disney and just stay there. Some people have called it cult-like, and I guess I could see that, but it's just the whole atmosphere of it that, gosh, if you could somehow take that atmosphere and transplant it to so much of the rest of the world, people would get along so much better. I had so much fun. Generally, people at theme parks, I talk about the bad stories because they're the ones that are most interesting, but the vast majority of people at the parks are just great to work with, and a lot of fun and good memories, and 99% of what you do is fantastic. And, you got the little bit, but they're easy to forget. So, Sir Willow Mom's bleeps. Wanted to be a cave tour guide at Silver Dollar City. I actually got offered a spot as a cave tour guide after I had quit. The supervisor called me up and said, "Would you be interested?" And I was like, "Yeah, I would." How is it going to work? He said, "Well, I need you on Sundays." I'm like, I'm a pastor. I can't do Sundays. There's no way I can take off Sundays to go work at Silver Dollar City. So, didn't happen. Would have really liked to, but need a Mother Willow video. I don't know. I'm supposed to go over and see her next week. We'll see. Maybe I'll try to set up something and record on the phone or something like that. I don't know. If you do it on the live chat, Mom, I'd have to have you come over here and sit down in the camera and stuff. So, well, I could do it on my phone. Let me see how that might work. I might think about that for like next Thursday or Friday. Once we figure out exactly what day I'm going to go over. We might be able to make that work. Maybe. Gosh, I'm going to have to really think about that. Y'all are going to scare me. Have to find out how I turned out so well. Well, I had a lot to overcome with my parents. I mean, if you understood some of the stuff they put me through and the things I had to overcome, and my mother's going to beat me when I see her. But thank you two guys for the ones who gave me ideas on the maps. I did write down a couple of those and got it. Hidden No, I'm a mister. What Bible characters could be represented by Disney characters? Ooh, I don't know. I don't know that I've ever thought about the two at all in any way like that. I have no idea on that one, David. I really don't. That's tough. I have to come back and think on that. Because, I mean, it's... In that case, it's hard because I'm thinking reality versus... That'd be like asking me which Disney character would fit me. Gosh, I don't have any clue. No clue. What's your favorite Star Wars movie? Rogue One. The Empire Strikes Back would be right up there, but Rogue One for me was... It was a movie that it didn't even have to be Star Wars to be a good movie. It was just a great movie. My wife, who did not know Star Wars at the time, really went and saw it and thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was great that way. Lots of stuff for the Star Wars fans, but if you didn't know anything about Star Wars, you could enjoy Rogue One. It's harder to say that for some of the others. So, and then Empire Strikes Back would be the other, but... Did I ever imagine building my own theme park? Not outside of Roller Coaster Tycoon, and doing it in Roller Coaster Tycoon, I realized that is not my area of creativity. I don't have that kind of imagine. I basically copy what's already there. So, never realized how much we need this. You needed this? Oh, I'm so sorry, Marissa. So sorry. Only thing you don't like about Marvel Cave is the height when you first walk in. What you may not realize, Justin, is when you do the cave tour, the reason that opening there is because there's actually one section of tunnel that you're walking through that is like that. But you can kind of angle it a little bit so you don't necessarily notice it as much. But that's why it's there, because if you can't get through that, you're not going to get through the actual tour. But at the time when you're going through the tour, you're so focused on the cave, you don't realize you even did it. It's really weird. So, Pinocchio was Jonah. Okay, there's Joseph. Pinocchio would be Jonah because he gets swallowed by the whale. So ask my kids. See, my kids have better imagination than I do. Pleasure Island kids would be the Ninevites. That's kind of funny. Do I have to fly to see my parents? Only over the cuckoo nest. My mother lives about an hour away from me. My father, on the other hand, is out in California, so him I do need to fly, and I am way overdue for a visit. My initial plan was to try to get out there in June to go see my dad and go to a family wedding that has now been postponed, and I don't know. Long list of parks. I tried putting a list together of parks I would most like to visit, and I got in trouble because I was like, oh, let's just try to do like the top 8. Yeah, okay, well, maybe the top 10. Top 12. I'm at 20. I can't narrow this down. There's a lot of parks. Alton Towers would be one. Legoland in Windsor. Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Eiffeling. And I know I'm going to mess up some of these names. You're going to have to forgive me. Oh, gosh. Other big park in Denmark is there. And I'm going to go blank. there's the Studios Park in Spain. There's a couple down on the Gold Coast of Australia. Japan has, is it Fujiku? Okay, it's the Disney parks, and then the Fujiku Ocean Park in Hong Kong. I just missed. We were actually down there in 1987 when it wasn't a big deal, and visited a few things, but we didn't do that. Wonderland, yes, is definitely there. One park per country. Hulk Shooter, not going to happen. That's like trying to tell me I could only visit one park in the U.S. What you may not realize is a couple of the most attended parks, the most popular parks in the world. Denmark's got 2 of them. Just amazing parks. So a lot of 3 of them. Top 3 favorite theme parks, even that, trying to narrow down a top 3 is near impossible. So really, really hard. Let's see. Uses his broom. Do the top max of parks. Oh, there's an idea. Top maps of parks you've never been to but want to go to. That is an idea. Okay, I'm adding that onto the list because that is one I could definitely use, because I do have a lot of maps from parks I haven't been to. I like that. Did my mother just call herself a witch? How about streaming a video chat with my dad? My dad doesn't do video chats. And to be totally honest with you, you wouldn't find my dad interesting to watch. This isn't a slam on my dad. My dad talks politics, but he drones a bit and dominates, and he's not as fun. I love my dad to death, but I don't think you would find him fun. He also has no clue how to talk to a camera and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't think you'd enjoy it. So, let's see. Watched a lot of your videos and love them. Probably you've mentioned it, one of them already. What's my favorite Disney movie? Anything favorite, Rory? You'll probably see this say on a lot of my live streams. I really don't pick favorites because it fluctuates so much based on my mood and where I am and what I'm doing and what I want to see and what. So one of the very few things I pick out is a favorite character, in Stitch. In Figment, is the whole camera goes, whoa, that was too much movement. I really don't pick out favorites, though, because there are just so many different things that I like and enjoy. Like I say, even narrowing down 11 Star Wars movies, picking one favorite, I still can't do it. I got 2. So I don't generally do favorites. I can pick out a big group of favorite things, but not specific ones. So if I were to pick out favorite Disney movies, oh boy, Alice in Wonderland, Robin Hood is great. Am I allowed to include the Pixar movies? Because I would include Toy Story and Up, which makes me cry a whole ton. Oh goodness, what else do I got? Mickey's Christmas Carol is one of my favorites. The Three Caballeros is a great one that I enjoy. I can go to some of the old Disney live action, like The Love Bug. There's a great movie for you. It's just impossible to pick out favorites. So, let's see. New Legoland coming to New York. They're hoping to get it open this. No, I'm sorry. They decided to wait until next year for it. They decided to take advantage of the stuff, and they're gonna get it finished up, and it'll open next year. Yeah. The Legoland in California was amazing. I'm sure the one in New York is going to be great. I sort of went to the one in Florida when it was still Cypress Gardens. And it had the rides before they closed and Legoland bought it and redid it. So haven't been to it as Legoland, but they're great parks. Let's see. Show maps through the years and tell us what rides were there that aren't there anymore. We talked about that a little bit with the timelines. See the Stitch Figment blooper being added to the end. I don't do the bloopers on the end of live streams because I don't edit them. It'll kill the chat. So, favorite planet to live on? Gosh, well, there was a time when I really wanted to live on Venus. I've heard Risa's interesting, although I would probably get in big trouble there, so that probably wouldn't be appropriate. Bejor is a little on the weird side. Tattooing is too hot for me. Now, indoor would be great, except those fuzzy critters, they're pains in the neck. But if you could do something about them. Alderaan was wonderful. Oh, wait, no, it got blown up. What is in my Disney Plus queue? Okay, that's actually a good question. Here, I can actually pull that up for you, and I'll show you what's in my Disney Plus queue. Okay, do. Let me actually get this. Okay, so we scroll to Disney Plus, because yes, I do definitely watch Disney Plus. Watch list, which is kind of behind my head there at the minute. Okay, so this is what's on here right now. Of course, DuckTales, duh. The One Day at Disney shorts, which I'm partway through. There's the Disney Insider, Rebels, or Lost Cities I'm going to watch with my wife. Lots of Star Wars, so Rebels, Clone Wars, some of the old Marvel cartoons. I did finish the whole X-Men series already. Walton Grupo, Escape to Witch Madden, that's a classic. The Disney Story. Now, some of these that you don't see on here, I've watched all the Imagineer ones. That's why they're not there. I've watched some of the other behind-the-scenes stuff. This is the best Three Musketeers ever made. Been working my way through this. Encore is a great show. If you like musicals and stuff, you'll enjoy Encore, as well as Reminiscing. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of what is there. What is not there, if I pop back to home, let's see. Oh, prop culture. That's not on there. I need to add that. Since we just talked about that, that would make sense. Duh. Okay, so there's prop culture. BR Chef, Princess Bride. I've got Princess Bride on DVD, the special edition. If for some reason you have never watched this movie, you need to educate yourself. Seriously. I mean, it's inconceivable that you have not seen this movie. Give you a peanut. Onward, watch that with my daughter. It was okay. Simpsons, I don't care about Simpsons. America's Funniest Home Videos, I watch clips on a regular basis with them. And then May the 4th be with you. So that gives you some ideas of some of the stuff that I watch and don't watch, and what I like and don't like. Let's see. There's my deal. So that kind of gives you a little bit of an answer. Have I watched the new prop show? I have actually watched an episode or two, but it's on a different profile. So what am I holding? I'm actually holding, I'm fidgeting here. This is my fidget spinner. This is my letter opener that I was using, and it is actually partially broken. So what you have seen me doing is fidgeting, getting this piece put back in. I don't really have ADD, but my mind does tend to run around, and so I do things like this. In and out, in and outie, in and out. Yeah, okay, Steve. Oh, yeah, by the way, I didn't answer your phone call because I was doing this. Steve Boyd, by the way, is my brother-in-law. That's where my wife is staying right now. So if you want to say hello to my wife, say hello to Stephen Boyd, and he'll pass it on. So, and yes, he is a troll. In and out, in and out. Semi-decent burgers, horrible fries, terrible fries. If you want to laugh, watch the end of one of my Disneyland videos, and I take my kids and their friends to In-N-Out Burger for the first time, watch their reactions. I prove my case that the chain itself, I like the chain. I love the ownership values and stuff. Mediocre food. Five Guys is so much better. So, yeah, Princess Bride is not a Disney movie, but they did get a deal to show it on Disney Plus. Not quite sure how that worked, but Gabriel, you have not seen Princess Bride. Shame on you. Shame on you. Yes, you need to go see it. That is the original Princess Bride, by the way. So, yeah, get it. And no, I don't really need a new letter opener. I actually do have a couple others here. This is just my fidgeting. I've also got this one right there that works just fine, and it's just so my fingers fidget. Do I like Culver's? Culver's is okay. They're all right. I can't say that they're my favorite, but if I got a choice between Culver's and Five Guys, I'll spend a little extra money and go Five Guys. In fact, okay, Five Guys story for you. One of the things that caught me by surprise when we went to Disneyland Paris, they've got Disney Village right there. If you've only been to Disney World, forget Disney World's idea. This is more laid out like Disneyland, where you have the Disneyland park, and then right next door to it, you have Walt Disney Studios. And then kind of in between them, sort of, is Disney Village, which is like their downtown Disney. And they've got their big Disney store there. Buffalo Bill's Wild West show is there. Giant McDonald's is there. And several of the other Earl of Sandwich and a number of other things. Well, one of the things that surprised me was that they had a Five Guys at Disney Village at Disneyland Paris. And I was like, ugh. And the family that I was with, they had never had Five Guys before. Well, Disneyland Paris, their restaurants, all the walk close at 6 in the evening. And if you're, I got at Disneyland Paris, terrible. So we actually, I encouraged them, hey, we're here. I found out there's a Five Guys there. Let's go check it out. I got them hooked. But yeah, I was surprised to see Five Guys in Paris. That was amazing. Smash Burger, I've heard is pretty good. They don't have them around here at all. Why can't you hate Five Guys? I'm so sorry. Yeah. That's all I can say. But other good places I have had a burger at. Fuddruckers is pretty good. I've heard they're having trouble. I hope they stay open here in Branson. And actually, Steve Boyd is the one who got us started on Fuddruckers when they were out here visiting, and we all went with them. We don't have a Habit here. When I hear the Habit, the only one I think of is up in Sacramento. We had one that was called the Hamburger Habit, and I don't think it's the same chain. They only had a couple, and I've heard the Habit is good, but yeah, we don't have it. Culver's or Burger King, I would go Burger King. Although if I had the choice between them and Jack in the Box, I'd do Jack in the Box in a heartbeat. Which Steve Boyd can tell you. I'm like, Jack in the Box and Del Taco, let's go. That's actually maybe my favorite fast food places, and neither one is anywhere near me. We can go to Jack in the Box if we go up to St. Louis or Kansas City, and we do. But otherwise, Del Taco, there's one Del Taco that's right by Universal Studios in Florida. And so the last couple times I've been there, it's like, we got to go to Del Taco. Yep. Hamburger I had in Paris, I swear to this day, was either horse or liver. Yeah. The one hamburger I had inside Disneyland Paris, I ate over in their Discovery Land, which is their version of Tomorrowland. And, it was horrible. Absolutely horrible. I didn't even finish the burger. I think I ate half of it and just said, forget it. Just terrible. Don't have a Bubba Burgers near us. So, never went to the Five Guys at Disney Village. That's kind of funny. Although, if you know other places to eat that you like well and you can't get them often, then I would understand not going to Five Guys. What really surprised me is I was walking, spent one day on my own, and I went down to the Arc de Triomphe. Sorry, bad accents. Just forgive it. But I was walking down the Champs-Élysées, which is their big outdoor shopping area. And they had a Five Guys right by a McDonald's. And I'm going, this is the elite shopping where you're supposed to eat in the cafes. Why is there a Five Guys and a McDonald's here? And there was a Burger King just off the street, too. I was like, oh, that's terrible. Burger King's tacos suck. Sorry. They tried to make an imitation of the Jack in the Box tacos and didn't get it right. Yeah. So, making you cry for Del Taco. I love. Okay, so SoCal Meteorite Hunter. Del Scorcho is my favorite fast food hot sauce, which is from Del Taco. It's their medium. I love the Del Scorcho. Great flavor. So, I see how it is, Craig. You just don't like me versus your other friends. No, good to see you, Craig. I'm actually getting ready. Goodness, I've been rolling for 2 hours, guys. How am I still going? So, you love Burger King tacos? Why, cats, you need to go try a Jack in the Box taco if you can. Much, much better. Much better. So much more flavor. They really are. But I'm still probably going to go totally stupid, but hoping to not be too terrible bad tomorrow at church when I'm leading everything. Oh, my wife's going to owe me for this afterwards. When's the last time I had Jack in the Box? Oh gosh, when did I go up to? I guess it was St. Louis or Kansas City last? Kansas City. It was October. Because when I went to Disneyland, we actually flew out of Kansas City, so we went to Jack in the Box then. A&W is pretty good, but they're almost extinct. I don't think we have any here. And the one last time I was in Florida, we were looking forward to eating at one there, and it wasn't A&W anymore. So, but I'm going to wrap up, guys. Thank you so much for being here with me. I hope you had fun. Y'all stuck around for 2 hours with me for me to just go blah, blah, blah. So I appreciate that. Have a wonderful evening. Stay safe. With everything, I know things are starting to reopen and everything. If you get out, please be careful. Please be cautious. I would really hate to hear about any of my viewers getting sick with this stuff. So, but thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for making this a fun couple hours. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. God bless.